Welcome back, fellow gardeners, and a happy new year. Today I want to talk about the Aeonium plant, and also known as the Tree Houseleek or the Irish rose. I did look for this plant because it's not very common in Kenya, and I eventually did find it. But the thing about this succulent, an evergreen succulent, it has the most beautiful rosette display. And I want to talk a bit about the propagation, plant care, and then we will continue on another episode to talk about how to actually propagate your buds. So my name is Alice and I'm the Red Soil Gardener. Now, my love for Aeoniums actually started about a year and a half ago. I had gone to Bristol to visit my daughter and she had them in the garden, and I was like, this is autumn. This plant looks actually as if it's in a growing season. And then I thought, what are succulents doing in Bristol? Until I started reading about them. Then I started looking for them, and eventually I did find them about 3 weeks ago. So now that I understand about this plant, I think it's one of the most beautiful succulents that I've ever seen. First of all, is that there are 35 varieties of this particular succulent, and you get them in variegated versions. You get pink ones, you get purple ones, you get jet black ones, and we'll show you all those sort of different varieties. The beautiful thing about this plant is the rosette and the waxy leaves. Look at that. And what happens with this plant is that it does grow quite tall. It can grow to about 3 feet. And what you actually have to do is that if it does get leggy, you can actually decide to snip it and then use the stem for propagation purposes, but that we'll do later. Now, as I mentioned, it's called the Tree Houseleek or the Irish rose. Again, the Irish rose is because of its rosette. Now, the thing about this plant, it does flower. Now, it has these beautiful, brilliant clusters of yellow flowers, which are, when it does actually go into bloom, is all these pollinators come, the bees, and they just have a harvest on the flower. But then what happens to the mother plant is that after its flowers, it does start producing pups. And after it flowers, the mother does die and the pups start coming out. So basically the plant still lives on. Now, let's look at the light requirement of this plant. Unlike most of the succulents, is that what this particular plant does like is a slightly partial shade environment, or somewhere where it would get its morning light. The darker variety with the darker leaves can actually tolerate a bit more full sun. But when you get the variegated variety, they would actually like to be more in partial sun, because also they don't produce that much chlorophyll because they are variegated. So basically what I would do with this particular plant is I would have it in partial shade where you get the morning sun, and then in the afternoon it can actually sort of be in partial sun. Now, the thing about this particular plant is as an indoor plant, because a lot of people do like it as an indoor plant, is I would actually have it to have access to a window where you do get bright indirect sun. When you do put it closer to the window, what happens is these leaves are very flimsy, they're very light, is that you will scorch your plant. Another indication that your plant is actually stressed and it's getting it with too much sun is you will get brown or white spots on the leaves. Once you do get that indication, do pull your plant slightly away from that window where it will get its filtered light and it will be happy. The thing about this plant, what sort of soil would you use? Is what I basically use in this particular plant is something that has more grit. I did put a bit of sand, it has a bit of grit, and a bit more potting soil. The whole idea about this plant is, first of all, it does like to be in moist soil. But then what you do is, the best way to do it is that once you do add your grit or your sand and get a well-draining soil like this, what happens is the water can go through and it doesn't sit around the roots. So one way I would do it if you were to water this plant, because it does like its soil moist but not soggy because you don't want to get root rot, is I would do it like what we've done in the past, is actually take the pot and do a deep drench in a bucket of water and then lift it up. Again, what you do is make sure that the water does filter out, and then the second drench, put it aside for a few minutes, for maybe 20 minutes, then do a second drench. In that way, you're giving this opportunity for the soil to actually absorb that moisture. Now, the good thing about when you do drenches, deep drenches, is in that way the soil actually right down to the base is actually moist, and it actually encourages this plant or any plant to actually start going deeper, because it will get hungry. Its roots will go deeper into the soil, far down, and in that way at least you do have a plant that has a solid root system. So again, let's just quickly recap with the soil. Is again with the pumice, or if you in a situation where you're using perlite, it will make the soil more well draining, and also it does help with the aeration in terms of the circulation of air in the soil, the oxygen in the soil, which actually is beneficial to the plant. Again, with this particular plant, is if you wanted to do a repot or if you wanted to do propagation, it's always best to do the propagation or the repotting during the plant's growth season. Now, the funny thing about this plant, the plant's growth season is usually between August, let's say autumn, winter and spring. This is the growth season. The thing about the plant is that once it does get to summer and it gets really, really hot, it does the opposite. It just goes into dormancy. Now, dormancy is a situation where the plant actually conserves its energy in order, it takes a rest basically, conserving its energy for it to sprout out again during the growth season. Now, when it does go into into dormancy, you may realize that all these little leaves of the succulent starts dropping off. So you may have a cluster of leaves on your pot or even in your garden if you've planted it. Also during this period is that the actual rosette shrinks and it's like it's stopped operating, it becomes smaller. Then you know exactly that this plant is taking a rest and it's just actually relaxing before it starts to sprout. Now, what happens is at this point, if you haven't got used to the plant, you think it's dying, but all you do is just leave it, give it very little water, because basically the plant is actually not operating. Very, very little water, because if you do over water it, you will get the stem actually shrinking and rotting. But once the autumn comes up, the plant picks up again and it starts the growth. And this is the time you can fertilize your plant. It is the time when you want to repot, you can repot. It is a time when you want to propagate. It is the best time to propagate because the plant is in a growth season. So now what I'm going to do is, because this plant does get its pups around the mother plant, which we have seen, but when I look at the stem of the actual pup, it still looks at least very fresh. So what I'd like to do with this particular plant is, as we've seen, is that the pups still look very immature in terms that the stem looks actually still still ripe and hasn't gone darker, which makes it stronger. So we're going to do the propagation of the pups on another episode. However, we can look at this plant and look at propagation of the stem. So what I'm going to do is just put that one aside. Now what I did is I had these longer babies here, and actually this particular one, when I did get it, is that it was actually wilting because it was in full sun. And so then I thought, why don't I use this one for actually showing you how to actually propagate the stem. So what I did, it had a stem like this. I just cropped it, and then I also, this was part of it, so it was like that, because they do grow quite leggy. So anyway, I just cropped it, and I'm going to propagate that one. And then I thought, this other balance here, what I'm going to do is actually put it in soil, lay it horizontally like that, and see if I get the pups shooting, the babies shooting out from each node, and then we can look at it. So now what I want to quickly show you is basically this was a full stem, and almost similar to this, and I did cut it, which was seen, and also I gave maybe about 2-3 days of it to allow it to callus. And as we say, callusing is good because what you do is you seal the wound, and in that way you don't get bacterial, fungal infections, and so basically you're good to go. So what I'm going to do is, with this particular one, I'm just going to, I haven't watered this yet, but I'm just going to take it and actually just stick it quite deep into the soil. Now why I'm doing that is basically on every node that you get, which you can see all these little lines, and that's where the rooting is going to come from. Now the thing about this particular plant is that once I'm going to submerge it quite deep here in order for all those nodes to actually get rooting. Now once you do get rooting on all those nodes, and you've done it quite, because you actually submerged the whole stem in the soil, is basically you will get rooting on all those, and it will give you anchorage, because once I do put it in like this and cover it, once the rooting starts, is basically the plant will be anchored and standing straight. The last thing before I finish, what I'd like to tell you is, so when I did find these plants and I did start putting them out, I did snip this from another mother plant. And so what I did with it, it's about 10 days ago that I went out shopping for this plant. So what I did is I took it and I put it in this pot, and then I let it stay. And that is 10 days. And look at this rooting. I've just had a look. This is a rooting that I've got within 10 days of actually just sticking it in a moist soil, in direct light, hoping it's going to propagate. But already it started rooting in 10 days. So that tells me that this particular plant will propagate very quickly, which is really exciting. And so we'll follow it up when we decide to do the propagation of those pups. So fellow gardeners, thank you so much for joining me, and do go and get yourself one of these plants. In Europe, they're very famous, and basically there's so many different varieties, and those variegated varieties with the purple and the pinks, and amazing. And they are easy plant. All you have to make sure is that during its dormant stage, you just leave it alone, and during the growth stage, you can actually prune it, you can repot it, and you can make your babies, and you will get a lot of babies because it does let off quite a lot of pups. So fellow gardeners, thank you for joining me on this episode. We are on YouTube. Comments, do leave me a comment. We're on Instagram. I do post a lot, but recently it's been quite hectic. I haven't done enough, but now I am back. But then don't forget that we are on Facebook. Do follow me there. We do upload also on Instagram, goes directly into Facebook. So don't forget to like and share and also invite your friends. So bye.